14 years ago, we had a meeting at, what was the name of that restaurant? Ruby Tuesdays. We had 5 people at that meeting. And some of them had been asking me, let's start a church. We want to start a church. We want to start a church. They've been asking me that for several months. I'm not sure how many. But probably at least a couple of months. And I've been telling them, no, I didn't want to do that. And so the previous Sunday, I had resigned from Mason-Dixon Baptist Church, and I had actually preached a sermon at another church, and they were considering me down there. Anyway, we had this meeting on a Tuesday night, and we talked about it, and we said, gee, we'd really like to start a church, and I felt like that was, let's explore this out. So let's have a meeting, a prayer meeting about it. And that's what we decided. We had dinner together, and we decided to have a prayer meeting. And Dave Labrosi was one of the 5 men, and he went over with his credit card, and he, debit card, whatever it was, but he went over and he rented a room, a meeting hall in the Hampton Inn. So you know more about that tonight. I couldn't remember everything about it, but you said it was a harvest thing?
It was like a harvest festival. I think we all brought, I don't know if it was that particular first Wednesday, but I think it was. We only met there a couple times, then we started renting the bar.
Right.
But, yeah, I think it's the very first one. It was this time of year, and we had a harvest festival.
Right.
Brought potluck, desserts, I think.
And what we were a group of people that really loved the Lord, and we loved each other. So we had this harvest festival. It was a prayer meeting. We prayed about what we should do. And so we rented the fire hall, and we met at the fire hall for a while. First time we met at the fire hall, we still did not have a church, and we still had not made a decision if there was going to be a church. We did not know. We wanted God's leading, because we didn't want to start a church unless God wanted it. We know our association, the Keystone Association, wanted to start a church up in that region, and Mason-Dixon Church, in league with the association, was, and I think also with Southern Seminary, where I graduated from, they were thinking of planting a church up that way, and so we had that meeting up there, and at the end of the first service, it was pretty well attended. We had about 62, 63 people came out to that fire hall. It was pretty well attended. And at the end of the service, we had an invitation. Of course, the invitation, we always have an invitation for in case somebody wants to be saved, someone wants to pray, or whatever the need. And Larry came forward, and he said, I want to join the church. Well, I was a little confused then, because we didn't have a church. We didn't have a church. He said, I want to join the church. I said, well, so I just told everybody. I said, Larry came forward to join the church, So then 60 people came forward. So we want to join the church too. I think it was 60, and maybe 61. Now the only one that left, we had a visitor at the church, and he was a visitor with you, I think, Debbie. Is that right? No, but he was a visitor at the church, and so he said, I don't live around here.
Eric Weinholz.
Oh, Eric Weinholz, a visitor. And then Debbie, you were a holdout. Debbie said, well, my husband's in Iraq, and I don't make a decision without my husband. And he was a deacon at another church, actually Mason-Dixon Baptist Church. So we had 60 people. So then we had a church. I mean, the candlestick was in place. It was God's leading, and it was overwhelming. So we all knew. I knew. They called me to go back and speak at that church, and I said no. Another one called me from Georgia and said, we'd like you to come and speak. And I said no. They said, well, do you know what you're giving up? And I said, yeah, I know. But I just felt like this group of people, we had come together, and we loved the Lord, we loved each other, and we need to stay together and worship God. And we were a fellowship. We were God's fellowship, and a church. And so then we decided, well, how are we going to, what are we going to call the church? And we came up with some really good names, and all of them were good. My suggestion, I think it was my suggestion, but was Friendship Baptist Church. So we're just a group of friends come together, love the Lord, and God is leading us to start a new church, and so let's follow God's leading, but we'll call it Friendship Baptist Church. And so everybody agreed that that was a good name. So we were the only Friendship Baptist Church at the time in the Keystone Association. Now there's two of them. And there's another one in York that's not associated with us, but it's a Baptist church. So there's three Friendship Baptist churches. But we decided that that was the name that God wanted us to have. We went and we visited, and we went to a church, to an elementary school. It was Jacobus Elementary up there. And we rented there for some months. And we really kind of liked the place. It was good, but it was cold, and they kicked us out because they wanted to do renovations to the building. They said, well, at the end of the summer you come back and rent it again. Well, we wanted to have Vacation Bible School. We had no place to have Vacation Bible School. Well, about that time there was Hobby's Court. There was a church in there, and they had just bought a building and they left. And so they contacted us. The people in the church just mentioned this, through the grapevine. That they said we thought you might like this church, we like this building. So we said, we went and looked at it, and we could have Vacation Bible School here. This will work really good. And so we had Vacation Bible School right in that place. We rented there for 7 years. Now we had a large Vacation Bible School. We had a lot of people get saved each year. It was really working very well. So it was a very good place. I remember having a rodeo. Remember that during Vacation Bible School, we ride horses, and we just had a great time for 7 years at Hobby's School. Did I get all the places? Did I miss any? My wife's not back there. She'd be going in. So I think there's 5 places. And so then we really considered perhaps buying that place and renovating it and making it into. But it was off the road. The location wasn't exactly what we wanted. And then one day, we had no money. We were looking at a lot of places, and every place we went didn't look like this. This is what we what we want, And I remember going into one place and Bobby J saying to me, "If you go here, I will have nothing to do with it." I said, "Okay, that's not the place for us." We had him because he had been 40 years a deacon. And we wanted his maturity. That's exactly what he said. He said, "I don't have the energy anymore to be a regular deacon, but I'll be, so we made him a deacon emeritus. So when he spoke, I listened because that's why we had him. He said, "This is not a good place. I'm not doing it." So one day we were at a place looking for looking at the computers and whatever, and Howard Edmondson was there. He said, and he's pastor of, they had this building. The church that he pastored had been in this building since 1925. They built it in 1925. The congregation had been here since 1857 on this corner. And he said, "Ken, I hear you're looking for a building. You're looking, he said, "Well, God told me to talk to you." "Really?" "Yeah." "So I got a building for you." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, God told me that this is what I should do. Let's meet, So I got all the guys together. I called up Larry. Larry, come on, look at this. And Larry said, "No." Remember he said that? "No, we don't have any money." Really, it was just a waste of your Saturday morning, if I remember right. "No, I don't want to look at it. We don't have any money." Well, that was true. We had no money, but I said, "You come on down and look at it anyway." And so we were coming down the street, and there's a barn over here. So I pointed at the barn. I said, "Bobby J, that's the building right there. What do you think?" I just wanted to see what he'd say, because I want he's going to say, "I'll have nothing to do with it," But we went right on by. I said, "No, I'm just kidding. Oh, Bob, this is it." And he came in, he sat in the building, he said, "This is the place. This is the one right here. This is the place. This is a church." And Larry, somehow, God moved, and the other church helped us by saying, "Well, we'll give you on paper, we'll give you $25,000. The bank didn't buy that exactly. They made us raise more money. But we were able to raise the money, and next thing you know, here we are. We've been in this building for the next one. First 7 years we were renting. The second 7 years now, we've had this building. So we just praise God for what He has done. And it was all God. It was all Him. It was Him from beginning to the end. He put the candlestick in place. He was faithful to us. He knew the vision. Now, we had a vision to build a church up in up at the end toward York, up at the end of the trail toward York, up at Jacobus Way. But God had a vision that we should be right here. There wasn't, Howard said there's not another Baptist church within 12 miles. That isn't quite true. There is Stewartstown Baptist Church. But it is a great location right on the main street. And all this is going to be developed. And the plain fact is I think God just wanted a church here. Now we have got to be faithful. That's what we are right now. Now, our first service, as I remember, we preached out of Joshua. So we're going to look at Joshua today.